Here we are in the garage. We got a certified hoopty today. I feel like I'm back to my grassroots. You know what I mean? Just really feels at home having a car like this in the garage. You're probably wondering why it's here. Well, apparently this window is busted right here, so you can probably see shattered glass everywhere. So the original doors that were here, the car got hit, so the owner replaced the doors, but the door he replaced it with, which is a silver one, had a busted glass. But the original door that got hit, the glass itself is still intact. So he has that door back here. Oh, by the way, it's a Santa Fe. Don't know what year it is. So this is the door that got hit. And you can see a damage underneath it. But as you can see, the original glass is still intact. And he said it sounds like the motor and the regulator on this one is still in good condition. It sounds like it's trying to move. So all he wants me to do is swap out the glass. And since this door panel is damaged and he said the speaker doesn't work, he also wants me to transfer over this door panel and this speaker, which makes sense to me. Guys, I've only moved this car, I don't know, 5 feet, because it was right there and I moved it right here. As soon as I turned it on, engine is misfiring like crazy. And the brakes are grinding. I don't know which one it is, but within the 5 feet of moving it, I could hear what sounded like brakes grinding, like metal on metal. Don't know where it's happening, but so with a car like this in the garage, some of you guys feel right at home. You guys love these turd cars, and here we are. The door doesn't really close properly. You can see how that's all wrong. The owner said you really got to lift up the door real hard to get it to close. They've had to shim this back here. You can see the washers, and the reason for all this is because when the car was hit, you could see the actual frame of the vehicle right there has been tweaked pretty bad. So I'm not surprised that you have to do this type of stuff to get the door to latch. But I'm not dealing with that. That's not my problem. It's only here for me to replace this glass. So as you can see, I just got the door panel off. Got it sitting right there. And we got a free tip, guys. We got some money that fell out of this thing. What do we got here? We got 1, 2, 3, 4 pennies and a dime. We got a total of 18 cents here. All right, no, I'm just joking. This is not a tip. This goes in their cup holder. All right, one thing I'm noticing is, even though this is the new door, you can see we already have damage happening right here, right to where the latch is at. And that's because it's not lined up, so it's hitting the striker. So every time he has to like readjust the door, and that's a shame, because this is the good door and it's already getting damaged because things aren't aligned properly. But he told me specifically, don't mess with the alignment. He said he's gonna get it fixed, just like he said don't attach this thing, which is the door check. He said leave that disconnected. I think it's time to try to get all this loose glass out of here. I'm gonna pull back this moisture barrier right here, and we'll get the vacuum and try to suck up any loose glass that we can. So I'm pretty much done vacuuming whatever glass I could get. It's not perfect, but I did what I could. I even went ahead and removed the speaker because we're replacing it. Also, it helps to get access inside of here. So all of that looks pretty good. It looks like the glass bolts up right there, as you can see. Other one is over here. Of course, the glass is missing. In order to accept the new glass, the regulator needs to be in position. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the master door switch so I could lower this down, and I'm expecting this to be like somewhere right here, and the other one might be in this access hole. I got the key in the ignition. Door panel switch has been reconnected. Let's see if this thing even works. I'll go ahead and try to lower the window, and it does move. So the customer was correct. This regulator still works. So it kind of looks like it lines up. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, this bar moves back and forth, and yeah, I think this is gonna work right here. So every time I step over here on the right side of the car to get some tools, you smell that? smells like burning brake pads to me. I think that's the one where we would get our grinding brakes coming from. Don't know if it's this wheel or the rear one, but burning brake pads have a distinct smell. So that could be a few things. One of them is like, say the slide pins are seized, or the caliper itself is bad and it's constantly applying pressure to the brake pads. But guys, I know when I smell burning brake pads, and that's what's going on here. Instead of pulling the whole door out of this car, because it's kind of heavy, I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to try to just leave it right here, slightly pulled out, and see if we could work on it right here. So I'm just knocking out the easy things first. As you can see, I replaced the speaker. There is a tiny little hole in it right there, but hey, the owner says it still works. So there goes the old one right there. Let me get my battery. We'll go back to the trunk. Got my power probe out here. We got a power source, a battery. I don't know if it's going to work for this car. This is a Hyundai and there's a Toyota branded battery. I crack myself up sometimes. So where's the motor? Right here. Look at this. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Get this unplugged. All right. We got 2 pins. And let's go ahead and connect the power probe. Ground on one side, power on the other side. And we got a 50-50 chance of getting this thing correct the first time. So 60% of the time, works every time. All right, so I decided to put ground on the right pin. Put power, see what happens. Oh yeah, first try, lucky. Okay. So that lines up right there. And this one kind of lines up. That might be tricky to get to though. I've got the glass unbolted and I moved the regulator as far down as it'll go. So the glass is now free. It just slides up and down freely. So apparently I sucked because I thought I was recording and I wasn't. So you guys missed all the cool action of the glass actually coming out. It's not fully out of the door. As you can see, it's kind of stuck because the glass is hitting the back seat back there. So I'm here trying to mess with it to get it out. Tricky one. I don't want to break this glass. Let me try going through that rear door over there, that one, the one that was also replaced, and see if I can lower the seat even more and pull the glass out from there. Door is not opening. It's not. So I don't know who installed the other door, but yeah, not a good job. It doesn't open from the inside or the outside. So that thing is locked forever. Try pulling the door out a little bit more. I really wish I had a second person here to help me with this. Seems super sketchy, but I think we got it. Yep. The door not wanting to stay open is super annoying, so I just got this bungee cord here. Got it around the handle. Don't worry, it's not a lot of force. And we're just gonna go right here onto the frame of the car. And that's gonna hold the door open. And of course, it was just a matter of time. I could feel glass stabbing me like right here somewhere. Alright, be super careful. Do not drop the only glass we have. So just like the old one came out, we're gonna tilt it at an angle, but you guys wouldn't know that because I messed up and didn't record removing actual glass. Alright, so round number 2. I found some more glass inside the tracks right here, got that cleaned out. I lowered the regulator even more. Let's see if it'll go in this time. Alright, it seems to be in place, but something doesn't feel right. It feels like it doesn't really want to move. Especially over here on the left side, it's like over here feels like it's moving fine, but this feels like something is binding. Does not feel great. Ugh. I could see right here, but on the other side the metal looks like it's like pinched in and looks like it's a lot. Let me look at the other door and see if that same metal is pressed in like that or if this door is just damaged. All right, so I pulled the window track out so you guys can actually see. And do you see that metal right there, how it's bent in? Let's go look at the other door. Same thing on the old door, pulled off the rubber track. And if we look how flat and even that looks all the way across. Let's go back to this one. And you can see the metal is bent. So I got it mostly straightened out, as you can see. Except for right there, that little bump is still sticking out way too far. But really I just used a set of pliers, came in here and bent the metal back out again. And for that one I can't really get my pliers in there because the belt molding is in the way, and I don't care to try to remove that thing. It's too much of a pain in the butt. So I'm gonna grab a punch and we'll see if we can knock that metal back. I'm using a brass punch. Don't know if it's gonna make a difference, but it makes me feel better. Is it perfect? No, we don't need it to be perfect. Nothing on this car is perfect. We just need it to work. All right. All right, so that looks pretty good to me. The gap looks a lot more consistent. All we can do is try. So let's put all this stuff back together and see if the glass actually fits this time. This time it went in a lot smoother, of course, right? And the good news is I could actually move the glass up and down now. So I got the 2 screws in that hold the window down to the regulator. It's plugged in, the power's on. Let's see if it goes up. Let's see if it goes down. It works. I mean, it kind of struggles right here in the middle, and I have reason to believe it has something to do with this. Of course, I couldn't get it perfect, but it does work. All right, the car is running. You can definitely tell the motor has more juice. Let's go down. Let's go back up. Yeah, so it's still a little stiff right about in the center here, but it's better. All right, so the window's all set. Seems good to go. The radio turns on every time I put the key in it, and I could hear the speaker working, so that's good. One thing I'm noticing is this right here, it's missing a cover, because if we're gonna look at the old one, you can see it has a cover for the motor. I'm gonna see if I could steal this cover off of here and go pop it onto the new door. Super easy. No wonder the old one fell off. All right, this thing's in place. Once I got it on, all I did was crimp the edges a little bit more so it's nice and snug. This thing's not going anywhere. I'm happy with that. Little things like this that I don't have to do, but if I notice it and it's super easy for me to fix, why not? Okay, so it's looking like I'm just about done here. I could go ahead and put the door panel back on. Now remember, we're gonna put the original door panel on because it's not broken at the speaker right there. And of course it matches the interior, because you can see that's a gray door panel and this is like a brown. So let me go ahead and pop this on. You guys saw how the window barely wanted to go up before. Well, after I put the door panel on, now you got the added resistance of this belt molding, which added to it, which wasn't a good thing. So what would happen was the glass would come up like halfway and then completely jam up, and you have to physically, you know, give it a little tug upward while you're hitting the switch to get it to go up. So that's not good, right? Customer's not going to be happy. So I used like a clear dielectric grease, put a good amount inside of there as well as right here, and then of course I used some fluid film, and this stuff really creeps down inside of there. And after spraying both sides and working the window back and forth, now the window actually goes up all by itself without needing any assistance, and of course it goes down even faster. But the important thing is that it goes up and down. So I'm happy with how this turned out. All I have to do now is clean up my mess of the excess grease that's kind of oozing out so it's not so obvious. And I think the customer is going to be happy with this. So the door panel is fully installed. It has all the screws on it, all the bolts, everything's plugged in, everything's good to go. And guys, when you're doing work like this, go the extra mile. It really pays off. It shows the customer that you care and you do quality work. Meaning, I made sure to clean both sides of the glass with Windex, and as far as the door panel, it looked real nasty with all kinds of stuff being spilled on it, fingerprints, handprints everywhere. It just looked real nasty, like it was ready for a dumpster fire. And after cleaning the door panel with Armor All interior detailer, it looks like it's ready for the junkyard. So that's an improvement to me. It actually looks really nice. Look at that. So I spent a good amount of time cleaning that up. Show pride in your work, and it shows the customer that you care. And one more thing, let's not forget about this stuff, okay? This looks nasty. No one wants to be driving around with this stuff on their car, right? So I'm gonna try to peel off this black tape they put on here, and we'll try to get off these writings from the salvage yard. If you're wondering how I remove this type of stuff off of doors, I found that silicone lubricant works pretty dang good. It's not as aggressive as a brake parts cleaner, but I don't like the idea of brake parts cleaner on painted surfaces. So this is like a good runner up. It doesn't completely remove it, but it does soften it. And then I could use something like this, which is just a piece of plastic. It's equivalent to like a plastic razor blade, and it scratches that stuff off with no issues at all. Let me show you. So just go ahead, spray it down real fast, and then you can see how easily it removes it. And this thing, since it's made out of plastic, it's not going to scratch or damage the paint in any way. And then once you're done, the final touches, just hit it with a rag, and you get that final little detail out of it. There you have it. Looks a lot better without the salvage yard writings all over it. This stuff, not sure what it is. I'm not going to mess with that. I didn't do it. You can see this rear door, how it fits. Well, it doesn't fit. That's the problem. You can see all the tape they got up top and on the side. I'm guessing that's to stop the rainwater from getting in. Yeah, this car was whacked pretty dang good, guys. And this tape up here is to hold up the fender liner to stop it from rubbing on the wheels. So anyway, it looks pretty good. I think it cleaned up nicely. Let's go out for this test drive. I've never been in a car with one of these. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty sweet. Look at that, man. You just turn like nothing, like butter. I don't think I want to go back to traditional steering ever again in my life. It's pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. But the grinding definitely sounds like it's coming from the rear brakes. This thing needs brakes all the way around, guys. There's no doubt about that. I closed the door as much as I could. I didn't want to slam it. I just closed it enough where it's a latch so I could hear like air coming in through it. Yeah, the brakes don't feel great. I feel like I'm pushing them like kind of hard, and the car is just slowing down at best. Like, I don't doubt that this thing needs calipers all the way around. You get what I'm saying? That's how rusty everything looks. Right now I'm listening for like bad wheel bearings. Oh, I need one of these for Christmas. Surprisingly, I'm not hearing a wheel bearing noise, so that's good. You just hear noise every time you hit the brake pedal. Alright, so this turd has kind of impressed me, because on the outside this thing looks like it needs to be killed with fire, but it drives better than I was expecting. Let's just say it drives better than it looked. So that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and like always, thanks for watching.